So I was in the panel that was discussing whether it is a challenge for enterprises to adopt analytics, and we had a healthy debate and very different points of views on in terms of whether it is an adoption challenge on activity or adoption challenge on impact. So that's what we spoke about. Undoubtedly, it is seeing explosive growth. So, I think what we saw for IT and then BPO and then product development earlier is probably what we're seeing for analytics. My own sense, however, is this is just a small tip of the iceberg that we have seen. So, a lot of growth, but in terms of what can be done, still a lot more headroom to grow. A technology freak. I mean, I tend to I follow the sector and I like it. So that much I can certainly confess. Contrary to what people would say, I would say the record is somewhat mixed. I think we do very well on services. I don't think we do as well, or we have built a reputation as much for IP-led, businesses. So products, for example. Similarly, on analytics, I would say, while there are a few, emerging examples, we have a lot of way to go. So yes, does the world see at India as a tech hub beyond Silicon Valley and, beyond a few other hubs and beyond Israel? The answer is yes. I think in terms of stature, do we command the same respect? I think, I'd say still some room to go, at least in the non-services part. Yeah, no, I think two or three. Yeah, number one, and we talked about it in the panel session as well this morning. I think my pet peeve is we have made this into too much of an esoteric theme that becomes very difficult for business people to follow. So it's all funky to talk about Python and R and clustering and random forest as different methodologies. If you're a business person who's really going to use analytics, sometimes these terminologies make absolute no sense. So I think one is to kind of make that a little simpler for businesses to understand and therefore adopt. I think is one big thing. I think second, analytics devoid of change management is probably not going to drive as much impact as we would like. So yes, it's terrific to have analytics stories, but I think it would be even better to have impact stories that are enabled by analytics companies. So it's a little bit of a mindset and a capability shift that I think needs to happen. So that would be the second. And I think the third thing I have to point out is talent is not easy to come by. Both from a technical perspective as well as from a business interface perspective. So there's a lot of work to be done to make sure that the supply of talent keeps up with the potential demand as well. A lot of the work that we do has analytics at its core, has always had analytics at its core for a very long period of time. We are now increasingly using, some of the latest techniques and some of the latest, platforms to get to that analytics in a much faster, much more efficient fashion. So we actually have analytics as a service line is a big and a growing service line for the firm. It is always embedded in the context of the client work that we do. And this team is, we probably have upwards of a few thousand people globally now. So, and will probably continue to grow at a fast clip in the days to come. So, that's what I would say. Oh, it was fantastic. I was telling Bhaskar that it was good to kind of come here and just kind of hear the differing views. People come from different backgrounds to kind of get a feel for what they feel is going on. And you guys have organized it really well. So I've had a good time. I also met a lot of my old friends that I wasn't able to meet. So I'm looking forward to coming maybe next year as well.